folks, and welcome to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. You've joined us today, finally out of the studio and out and about. Today we're in Wrightington, where our walk will begin, which is in Lancashire, and it'll end over in Standish. Now we're going to go today and have a look at an old colliery that closed about 60 years ago, almost 60 years to the day. It closed in the 24th of March, I believe. So we're going to have a look and see what remains on the surface, and have a little look as well at an energy farm, one of these solar panel farms, because I've never been right up close to one of them, so we'll have a look at that as well. So without further ado, as you can see, little Rosie is very excited. She's chomping at the bit to get out, as have I been. I'm fending off a little bit of man flu, but the things I do for you guys. Anyway, I'm going to get out there now, get wrapped up warm, and we're going to head in that direction. So, today's walk, this colliery we're coming to have a look at, was called Chisnall Hall Colliery. Now, the colliery got its name from Chisnall Hall Farm, which is just over there. But the actual colliery is the other side of the M6, which is what you can hear roaring there in the background. So we're going to make our way across this muddy field, down a path, along the side of the motorway, over the bridge, and then we'll be into where the colliery grounds once was. So without further ado, let's crack on. Come on, girls. So we've made it to where the motorway is. I'm now above the M6 carriageways, and it's hard to imagine that this land where I'm now stood was once quiet and peaceful with all the noise that's roaring beneath me. The motorway cuts straight through Chisnall Hall land, and I should imagine it had to be compulsory purchase ordered back in the day. We're going to make our way across the bridge now, heading in that direction to where the colliery actually once was. Apparently it was once the biggest coalfield north of Wigan in the Lancashire area. So we're going to have a look now and see what remains. We're now just up from the motorway bridge, as I've just been on, and we're going to head down this track here now where these horses are going, and this fella. And it should link up to where the old mineral railway was that led in to Chisnall Hall Colliery. It's sort of over that way towards my right hand side where the old colliery was. So we'll make our way around now as the sun's starting to come out, and we'll slowly get to that colliery. Right, we're just cutting through this little bit of woodland here. Meant to be a bit of a public footpath this, but there's been horses using it now. I'm almost sure this is it, that horses aren't allowed to use public footpaths and they must use bridle ways. But I don't know, I'm not really well up on the country code in that respect. So if anybody out there knows if I'm correct in that, please let me know. We'll just negotiate this bit of mud. We've just made a bit of a detour here, and we've just followed where the mineral line would have come and gone across the road here at Preston Road leading into Coppull. And there's a marker here to Chisnall Hall Colliery, which says Chisnall Hall Colliery, number 1 pit, 1898. Now, I don't think that's a stone from any of the buildings. It may have been, I don't know. It looks to me like it's been made in the shape of one of the pit tallies, which is what they used to have in the lamp rooms, I believe, and the idea was if your tally was in the lamp room, your lamp was out and you was down the mine somewhere, that's how they knew where men was. Or it could have come out of a building, like I said, I don't know. But it's a nice little marker. We're going to head off now, back down that way, where we've come and rejoined the mineral line. Now here's the memorial stone just off the road that actually tells you that this was the entrance to the former Chisnall Hall Colliery, and the site was reclaimed in 1976 by the County Council. Unveiled 25th of July 1994 by County Councillor Mrs Louise Elman, leader of Lancashire County Council. So there we go, this would be the beginning of it, and then men would head down there and do the day's work. So we'll follow in their footsteps now. Now, just to expand on the problems with horses using public footpaths, here we have horse muck. Now, I'm sure there's plenty out there who've got rose gardens and do a kill for that, but me as a dog walker, if my dog did that, I'd have some little bloody stars in Nazi coming running out, fining me for allowing my dog for shit on paths. Yet horses seem to do it and nobody bothers. I know some people do pick it up, these who have carts who go up Blackpool and that. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about horse riders who just think they own the bloody place. Rant over. Now, although this whole area was redeveloped in about 1981 to make it as you can see today and remove all the scars of mining, this was placed here in 2012 and it was renamed Chisnall Hall Jubilee Wood. It's quite impressive, that. It's a piece of granite stone, that. Obviously, it was done to celebrate one of the Queen's Jubilees. I can never remember which one after 1977, the silver one. I always get mulled up with the golden one and the diamond one. I'm sure somebody will tell me below which one 2012 actually was. Now, we've just come up from and followed the old mineral line there. Whether or not it linked up to other pits or not, I don't know, because there's quite a few collieries in this area. We're now going to make our way up towards where the shafts was and the heart of Chisnall Hall Colliery. Now we're about to enter into where the actual mine shafts are. This gate doesn't look like it's been closed for a long time, and this lock, you know, it looks very old, that one. So we'll go in there and we'll take a look and get a bit further and I'll have a chat and tell you about the history of this pit. It's quite interesting. So here we are, we're at the centre of Chisnall Hall Colliery. This is the first of two mine shafts that served this coalfield. Strange really that this was the largest coalfield north of Wigan, was only served by two mine shafts. Now it was owned in 1896 by the Pearson and Knowles Coal Company, but they merged with a lot of other small coal companies in around this area to form the Wigan Coal and Iron Company in about 1908, and it remained under them and it employed about 1,000 men up until nationalisation on the 1st of January 1947 when it became the NCB and the Coal Board. Again, it carried on 1,000 men right up until 1967 when it closed for good, and the only thing that was still in operation was the washery, you know, for washing all the coal type of thing, and they was bringing it from Woodpit at Haydock up to here to wash it and then send it on to wherever. And that was it then, it closed. But what we're going to try and do now is we're going to try and have a look inside there, because apparently these mine shafts have been left open. Whether or not it's to vent the gas or not, I don't know. There's supposed to be some water partly at the bottom, and the rest is left open. So you don't get to see down a mine shaft very often, so we're going to try. Now, Mr H isn't as nimble as he once was when he was about 14. So what he's going to use is the patent Mr H extender pole. And we're going to have a look, we're going to attach the camera to this and we're going to have a look over the top and see what's inside. Now, this has the potential to go wrong and this film may never be seen because the cameras I'm now talking into might end up at the bottom of a mine shaft. I hope there's no bodies or anything but over the other side of that wall, because let's face it, this would be the ideal place to throw something that you don't want anyone to ever see again. So, we'll take a look now and see what's over the other side of that wall. It's a pity I don't have one of those little drone things, but Mr H's hot pot isn't monetised and it won't run to that, so the extender pole it is. And here we are at shaft number 2. Like I say, this pit was a 2-shaft affair. Whether this was the earth shaft or not, I don't know. But the brickwork on it isn't as good as the one we've just looked at. Obviously 60 years has taken its toll on it. Now, it's amazing to think that those are actually open. You know, you normally they cap them. Why they've left these open, I don't know. Unless it's to vent gas or something. Who knows? Anyway, we'll push on and see what other remains we can find. There's supposed to be some remains from the winders somewhere, but if they're going amongst all these brambles, I can't see us finding them. That's why I'm not going to go any closer to this one, because it's totally surrounded by brambles. We're now at the end of the mineral line that served Chisnall Hall Colliery. I'm not too far away from where the mine shafts are that I've just shown you. And what is really amazing is how Mother Nature, over 60 years, has just took all this area back and reclaimed it. I mean, all this, I should imagine, back in the day was all slag heaps. You know, and they'd be all spoiled from underneath, and, you know, it would have just looked a terrible area. But no, it's a lovely nature area for people. So it really is amazing just how Mother Nature can claim things back, and probably long after humans have gone, all this will carry on. Anyway, we'll make our way over to that solar farm now, which is just down this path here. Come on, let's go. So just across this field is where that solar panel farm is. It's quite large, really, and I should imagine one of these farms has this land, and it'll belong to them. Not the solar farm, but the land. Wonder how much they get for something like this. Probably get a good subsidy from somewhere. Well, we'll get closer to it, and we'll take a little look at what it's all about. Because as I say, I've never been up close to one of these before. I've seen them on the motorways as I've been passing, but never got up close and personal. And here we are. This is what a solar panel farm looks like. I've never been up so close to one of these before. We're sort of at the back of it now. What is amazing with these is the way they just sort of follow the lie of the land. Me and Mrs H was discussing that. But I suppose as long as they're facing south, it shouldn't matter. You know, they should catch the rays, which is the whole idea of it. Now, this compound's pretty secure, despite the flimsy fence that you see in front of you. It is cambered up at certain points, a bit like a POW type camp. I should imagine, as all that stuff is quite expensive. Anyway, I'm going to give you a few overhead shots of it now, using the patent Mr H extender pole. And then we're going to head off back towards the car, where we'll wrap this video up. Now, I'm sure many of you out there thought that fence is pretty easy to breach, Mr H, even you could get over there. But the reason as I've not tried doing that is, as you can see, this is the last person who tried breaching that fence. No, seriously, we've noticed a rather strange little thing, me and Mrs H, while we've been on this ramble, and that's hats, like that, nailed to posts. Now, maybe the farmer of these fields, his wife keeps buying him them type of hats, and he keeps saying, "I've lost it, love, I'm sorry," he doesn't like that style. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there, one of my followers, knows why farmers put these up. Maybe it's a little type of scarecrow or a marker or something. We don't know. We'll leave that one open to you. Well, folks, we're back at the car. We're back where we started. We hope you enjoyed our little ramble and our little tour of the former Chisnall Hall Colliery. Apparently this was the last one to close in the Wigan area, apart from little privately owned mines. So that's a little bit of history for you. I do apologise for talking down my nose a bit on this one. As I say, I am fighting off man flu. I sound a bit like that All's or was it Tunes advert from the 80s where the guy goes into the train station and says, "Return ticket to Nottingham, please." Anyway, I hope it hasn't spoiled your enjoyment of this video too much. We're going to get off now, and we're going to take the mother-in-law out for Mother's Day. If you are lucky enough and fortunate enough to still have your mother with you, treat her special today. I'll leave it on that note. So until the next time, from myself, Mrs H, and from the girls, it is bye-bye for now.
Second class return to Dottingham, please.
Where was that, sir?
I said Dottingham.